Hey, hello, it's been a while since I've last seen you guys. I have been developing a Christmas tree skirt pattern in the meantime. So this pattern is going to be sold on my Etsy. It is made up of 10 pentagons. I have so far got 5 pentagons here. I just need another 5 and that'll become the tree skirt. All of these sides are connected. The very last side won't be connected to form a true ring because you need to be able to put it and wrap it around on the floor. So this has been eventful because I originally sought out a pattern on Etsy from like this image on Pinterest that I couldn't find the pattern for anywhere because it was like an archived old magazine pattern from like years ago. Even the one on Ravelry, can't pronounce that ever, isn't on the platform anymore. So I found it on Etsy and it was like $1 and that was great and all, but it wasn't made to measure and the image of the Christmas tree is like heavily photoshopped. So it ends up being very tiny pentagons that would suit a very tiny Christmas tree. So after I made that and fubbed it around, it's now going to turn into like a picture frame decorative thing. I have now expanded from that pattern to create something that is made to measure with all the mathematical proof needed to explain why it needs to be 10 pentagons and for you to be able to make them as big or as small as you need to suit around whatever Christmas tree that you've got going on. So that's been fun. I have made like this beautiful diagram. I'm currently still in the drafts of my pattern. Really, the most important thing is actually getting the tree done. And then I'll be able to, you know, take the promotional pictures of it, use it as an example, all that type of stuff. I have finished my mohair pattern and the project itself. The only thing I need to do is on a specific day, during a specific time of day, I'll be able to take like modeling pictures of it outside my house for good lighting. And that is honestly kind of the hardest thing. So I will have to definitely buckle down and do it next week because I want that pattern out here. Going back to my Christmas tree pattern, the hardest thing about making a Christmas pattern on coming onto Christmas is that I really need to get this done because I don't want this to be finished too close to December where people now don't have the time to make it. Like it would still be good for next year, but it would be quite great if I could have this done like in October and then finalize the project, finalize the pattern, and then get it uploaded. But I am not really holding myself to that deadline. So like, you know, fingers crossed I'll get there. But because I am making the same thing 10 times, it really does numb my brain after a while. I'm not the type of person to make 100 granny squares and crochet them all together to make a blanket. That is just not my style of crochet. I particularly love to crochet clothes, because like every row is kind of different and it's a wearable piece that you can wear for hours when you're out of the house. And my gosh, I get a lot of compliments on the clothes that I make from people and the clothes I make for my baby as well. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a tart when it comes to compliments and I like that a lot. I don't always say I made the items because that just feels like I'm sucking myself off more than I really want to. But you know, I say thank you and all that. I've had compliments on my earrings as well because I've micro crocheted a couple earrings. They are also made to order on my Etsy as well. They're just like at the moment they're just like the butterflies and hyperbolic like coral reef spheroid looking earrings. They're really cool, really wrinkly. I love it a lot. Takes a long time though because it grows at an exponent of 3. Yes, I may as well discuss the yarn and all of that. Because my pattern is made to measure, I don't even specify the hook to use or the yarn to use because that is all completely irrelevant information. You will be using the stuff that you already have or what you already want to purchase and whatever yarn you want whatever hook size that you want as well. And that's the beauty of it. I don't like patterns that are like, oh, you got to use this specific hook, this specific gauge, this specific yarn. Just give me a made to measure pattern and I can figure it out from that point on. A lot of the times in Australia, you do not have access to any of the yarn that these people are spiffing off about. And it's just very inaccessible. So I try to make my patterns as accessible as possible so then you can use whatever you have, because that's the whole point of the craft, is to use what you have and to use what you love using, not what some other person is telling you to use. So my yarn that I'm using for this project, again, doesn't matter, is a Jolly Joy Christmas yarn from Spotlight. It's like the Kringle like lineup. It's just basically, I don't know if you can tell, it's a yarn with like a plastic coil spiraling through it, and it gives it like a little shimmer and glitter. I have used this yarn last year to make my baby her first Christmas dress. And it's actually not too bad. Like, it's acrylic, so you're going to get a little bit hot. And especially when you're in Australia, it gets like really, really warm. But considering all of that stuff, it's actually a quite okay yarn to use. It doesn't feel awful if you're going to use it as a wearable, this type of yarn. Like, it's not as nice or as expensive as the other Jolly Joy yarn that is a chainette yarn. That stuff looks really good. Doesn't feel it though, it feels a lot more rougher. So that one's more of a decorative type of yarn, I would say. This stuff is definitely easy to wear and feels nice to wear. Like, you don't feel the plastic coil like scratching on you. So that's a bonus with this yarn. It's a great wearable. Just trying to think. I got really nothing to think about, to be honest. So I'm using both the green and the silvery grey and alternating between them. Here's a cool thing about my pattern, I guess. It is a no-sew, and you also don't cut and rejoin for every round. So I have explained it into my pattern, and I have also made like a tutorial video that was not blurry, but it like wasn't in focus, but you could still see everything up until the very last moment. But that was fine, because at the very last moment was when you could see me crocheting the sides together. So these edges here, they've been crocheted together. They're not sewed. As you can see, the flexibility and strength is all one-to-one. And when I have been changing the alternating row colors, let's see, yep, this might be a bit difficult to see, but I chain 3 and have it in the wrong side of the project, and then I slip it back through for the next row. The chain 3 is because that's the length of the double crochets. So like, that's a grey here, and then behind that grey is this chain 3's going behind it, and then it comes back through. And so it keeps looping throughout, and that just makes it so good. Like, you can obviously use more than the 2 colors that I'm using for this project. You could use 3 or 4. Just keep in mind that these supporting background 3 chains, I have a proper name for them on my pattern, can't really remember, it's a bit of a gibber gobble. These will get longer depending if like you got 3 colors here and now you need this one to extend to being 6 chains to, you know, cover the 2 rows that is not included. So like, they'll be a bit more floaty, but like, that's like a non-issue, to be honest. I wouldn't really go past any more than 3 colors, because then it will get very floaty. But like, that doesn't matter because it's sitting on the floor underneath your tree, you know? So like, it's your vibe, right? I have a lot of this Christmas yarn because what I like to do is I like to buy Christmas stuff after Christmas. My Christmas tree was like $150, and on Boxing Day, it turned down to $30. So we bought a $30 really nice self-lit, looks like a snowy pre-lit Christmas tree is what we got for $30 instead of 150. It's still in the box. We need to unbox it. It's going inside the baby cage, so then my baby can't get to it. She's now a year old today, so she's 1 year old today. Woohoo! So, yep, the Christmas tree is going to be protected from her because she's a little menace. She's a little bit evil. I don't know if that's all babies, but she's definitely that. So, continuing on with that conversation of buying Christmas stuff after Christmas, I got a bunch of Jolly Joy Christmas yarn after Christmas. Stuff was like 50 to 70 cents instead of like $3 to $4. So I bought up so much of the stuff, and now I have so much of this Christmas yarn, and it's like, how do I use it up? Because they have this tinsel yarn range, and I get my knitting machine circular, and then I make tinsel yarn with that, and it is like really good. It's strong, it's very pretty. I can make it as long as I need it to be, so I can like wrap it around like the house or a tree outside. So I got a use for the tinsel yarn, but I've got a lot of just like regular yarn that's like Christmassy, and it's like I don't know what exactly to do with that, but I can make Christmas tree skirts with that. At the moment I'm just making the one. I don't know if I'll make one every year, but I have plenty of yarn to make a nice big tree skirt, and also some like Christmas ornaments as well. It's all going to come into play eventually. So I am not going to be buying a Christmas yarn at like full price anyways. I might do it again at the end, like after Christmas this year. I don't know if I'll get as much as I did the first time. It depends how much I've like gone through, and it also depends on the colors if I don't have them or not. Because with this project, at least, even though I have a lot of yarn of a lot of different colors, some of them are only a couple of colors, and I had to really think like, what 2 colors of yarn at the very most can I use? I can alternate between each other and I won't run out. And I had a ton of this green and a ton of this silver, and the hard part also is that I've got other colors that are also a lot of yarn, but they don't look good together. And again, I have some of the Kringle yarn and I have some of the chainette yarn, and like you can mix them together, but the gauge could be a little bit off between them, and that could result in a weirdly like wrinkly shape. Like it probably would stretch out and look fine after a wash, but I didn't really want to deal with those logistics in this time and moment. So yeah, this is what I settled down with. I had like all these pinks and whites that I tried to mix and match, and they were just blurring with each other too much. So this was the most contrasting combination that I could use. That also meant that I had a lot of that yarn as well. What I am deciding on is if I add extra colors once this has been done together, because like I'll be crocheting within the inner ring of the skirt, and then also on the outer ring part as well. And I'm thinking like, do I use other colors or do I just stick to the green and gray? But like for my pattern purposes, I think I'll use other colors, so then you can actually see like, okay, this is now the inner ring part, this is now the outer ring part. And I also want the pentagons to be very visible as well. I don't want them to get hidden in the mush of alternating row colors, because then you just won't see the pentagons that much. So yes, all decisions. But yes, anyways, be in tune as I try and continue to make updates. I'm able to make this update in video right now because my baby is asleep. So yes, this is a made to measure pattern, no sew, no cut and join color rows. You just basically make it all in one go as possible. I just sort of keep all my tails out and exposed, because it's also insurance. If I cut the yarn too close to the crochet, it'll just sort of loop itself back out and come out anyways. And when you put it, and if it's so short as well, it will poke through onto the right side. So I have learnt over like the, I don't know, 16 years I've been crocheting, that having long tails in the back means they will stay in the back, and it acts as your insurance that it's not going to undo itself and come apart. So keep those tails long, especially if you're like not using glue. Hopefully I'll get my pattern out within like 2 weeks at the fastest. That's if I haven't like burnt out and need a little break from this, which I hope I don't. I kind of had that moment with my mohair dress. I just sort of put it down and had to recuperate away from it because it's made with like mohair. I sort of got sick of working with it after a while because like you can't undo it to fix your work. You have to like rip at it, and yeah, no, it's a whole process, hey. So anyways, thank you for watching. See ya.